This week on Mystery Garage, took 3 weeks, but it's finally done. So you know what that means. In today's episode, we finally take this car for a rip. So before we take it out today, there's a couple loose ends I want to take care of. I'm going to let it warm up right now. I'm going to take care of those loose ends quickly. I'll double check all the fluids because it's been parked for a while, so just want to make sure it's got a good amount of oil. Nothing's leaked in the floor, so it's not really an issue, but I want to check it anyways. I want to check the water level, that kind of thing. Make sure it gets up to temperature, I'm happy with it, and then we hit the road. All right, so you can see we've let it warm up. The fans is at operating temperature right now. The fans just kicked out, so everything's looking good so far. I did have a minor fuel leak that I had to tighten up. I don't know if you saw that in the last video. Ooh, maybe I have it worse now. We're gonna take care of that, and I'm gonna check the oil, that sort of thing. So let me take care of those two things, and we'll be ready for a drive. All right, now we're ready to go. So on initial shutdown there, you saw I did add some oil. Now my concern isn't that I didn't have enough oil in it before. I had a great deal of oil in it before, but I think I'm worried that while it's running, there isn't sufficient oil because the supercharger's absorbed a good portion of that into the charger and flowing through the charger, that maybe it's leaving my pan a little low. So I filled it up a little higher, so that way, hopefully while it's running or operating, there's adequate oil in the oil pan in order to sufficiently fill the supercharger while it's running, as well as have enough in the engine for the engine itself. But I don't know if anybody else is running into that issue or not, but I want to be extra safe, so I took care of that. I also took care of the fuel leak. We're all good there, so I think we're ready to go. Now, I've never done a car driving YouTube video yet, so this will be the first time. So I apologize if the sound quality isn't very good. I also apologize if the angles aren't the best, but let's have a first go at it. It's always fun about learning. Anyways, let's do it. Well, it took a little while, but finally made it to Mexico. Crazy thing is I had no idea Mexico was this green at this time of year. Anyway, so now that we're here, I just kind of wanted to take a quick little drive test. But as I kind of went and fueled it up and as we drove here, a couple things I noticed I want to kind of correct. One, I don't know if I can catch it on film, but for some reason my fuel system is deciding to pressurize itself. So I don't know if you can catch it here, but listen. So I'm gonna have to deal with that. Probably put in some sort of vent. But other than that, it seems to be driving pretty good. I did end up, as you saw in a couple of the previous episodes, I did end up spilling a little bit of oil onto my heat wrap and my exhaust, so it is smoking a bit. Otherwise, you know, I think it's running pretty good. I'm not obviously beating the hell out of it. Just I want to make sure, you know, maybe we'll set up some dyno time or something. I want to make sure it's running optimum. Before I got limited gauges. It's definitely doing a good job holding temperature. Can't really see it right now. Let's see. It's already cooled off a bit, but it runs around, you know, 185, 190, which is perfect. That's what it's set to. So it's been running great the whole time. As far as temperature goes, keeping cool, that kind of thing. It's also not extraordinarily hot out either. So, all right. Well, I'm pretty happy with it so far. I think we'll get a couple driving shots and drive-bys and have some fun with that, and then we'll start the long trek home. Go from there. Well, we had a good time out in the car today. You know, I apologize. Solid engine mounts and that kind of thing makes the camera footage a little blurry and bumpy and that sort of thing. And I took a look at some of it, not all of it, and I could tell that it wasn't going to be the greatest stuff. So I apologize for the quality of the video. And I think when we start taking more drives in this car, especially when we start driving some of the other ones too, I'll have to get some better gear. But all in all, pretty happy with how the car operated. Little things need to look at. I'm going to throw it up on the jack stands now and do a bolt check on it, make sure everything's all good. Some things might have rattled loose or came loose a little bit, so I'm going to check on that. Check on belt tension, that kind of thing. You know, check for any oil leaks, that kind of stuff. But overall, you know, pretty happy with it. I'm happy to say there's actually no leaks. It's drier than a bone. So the work we did last week, or 2 weeks ago, or probably 3 weeks ago now, it's looking good. No leaks, belt's nice and tight, no bolts have come loose. You know, everything seems to be running real efficient, so no issues there. Nothing really rubbing. You know, everything looks pretty good, so I'm pretty happy with it. I want to thank everybody for hanging in there for the first drive. Took quite a long time to get this car out on the street just because of what was happening on my road, but all in all, I think at the end of the day, it was a pretty good, fun little drive. So I might take it for another ride or two. I'm not quite done with it. I was having some fun. So anyways, guys, until next time, thanks very much. Please feel free to like this video. And again, if you like this type of content, please subscribe. I want to keep growing this channel. I'm having a great deal of fun with it. And you know, it's fun doing what you love doing. So anyways, till next time, guys, appreciate it. Take care.